Thank you very much, those of you in the room with us here and those of you joining us live streaming here from the Charlemagne building. My name's Terry Schultz. I'm a journalist covering the European Union for many years, and I'm very delighted to be invited here to moderate this very important plenary today. So now I'm going to sit down and introduce our panelists, some of whom, if not all of whom, you know, of course. I'm going to start from my left. Minister Maida Gorčević, the Minister for European Affairs of Montenegro. Nice to see you again, Minister. Oliver Röpke, of course, the President of EESC. Thank you. Orhan Murtezani, the Minister for European Affairs of North Macedonia. And Antoine Castle, who has just been appointed to his job yesterday, so we're very lucky to have him. Senior Advisor at the Director General of Employment, DG Employment, Social Affairs, Inclusion at the European Commission. So thank you for making time on your first day. I think that speaks a lot to how important you find both EESC and the topic that we're going to be addressing today. So we're very happy to have you. And thank you very much. My job here is mostly traffic cop, so I'm going to try to look intelligent and contribute to the conversation, but really it's for my speakers to bring the content here. And we are on a very tight schedule, as everyone knows. We have only until 10 o'clock for this segment, and we have a lot of speakers to get to, and I know that everybody wants to share their voices here on this very important topic. Building an inclusive future in an enlarged European Union, and in particular the role of social dialogue, civil society, and youth engagement. And I think we all know how important that is. And that's why I'm very happy to start with Minister Gorčević, because in Montenegro, you included civil society from the very beginning of your negotiations on enlargement. This wasn't an afterthought, right? It was, you knew from the beginning that civil society was a really important player, and you have appointed representatives to formal positions, right? They're not just there as observers. They're not there as nice-to-haves. They are an integral part of your accession negotiations. So I think it's a perfect place to start. It sounds like a role model for the inclusion issues that we're talking about today. So, Minister, I'd like to give you the floor first.
Well, Terry, thank you very much. At the very beginning, I would like, first of all, to thank Oliver for gathering us all here. Also to express my gratitude also in my personal name and also in the name of the government of Montenegro for everything that he's been doing during his mandate. And very happy that you've been a friend to all of us. I'm now not so speaking only as Montenegrin, but also I'm certain that Orhan will share also this with me. But, Terry, back to your question, actually, yes, from the very beginning of the EU accession process, Montenegro had representatives of the NGOs, representatives of academia, representatives of the civil society, not only as accessory, but also as essential partner. And we are not speaking only to have them on the table, at the table, speaking and having decisions. They were the main and essential partner to us whenever it comes to have more transparent process, to have all the decisions that are going, when we are speaking not only about the closing of the chapters, but when we are speaking about the whole process. And I'm speaking also when it comes to the civil societies representatives and NGOs. They are also included in all our negotiating structure. I'm speaking about all the working groups, and they are not only observers. They are also full members of the working groups with the right to contribute, to challenge, and to shape decisions. And this approach has deeply influenced both the quality and the credibility of our reforms. Their involvement has brought greater transparency, stronger public trust, and wider ownership of the EU agenda. When civil society is given a seat at the table, it strengthens public scrutiny and reinforces accountability, which are essential for maintaining the integrity of the process. Citizens are more likely to support reforms when they see that those speaking on their behalf, from NGOs, from the youth organizations, trade unions, and other parts of the society, are actively engaged in shaping of all those reforms that we are speaking about. Beyond the negotiating groups, we also have institutionalized civil society participation through some of the key bodies. And now I'm speaking also about the Rule of Law Council that is very important, not only because of the EU accession, but because of the rule of law. It is ID for the Montenegro also on this path. And also, if we are speaking about the reform agenda, they are the part of the Supreme Supervisory Board for the reform agenda under the growth plan. So all these bodies, they are involved, they are very active, and I must say that in Montenegro we have very strong NGO society that we should be proud of. As a result of the European path is not longer seen as something abstract or top-down. It is becoming a truly shared national project, one that reflects the voices, needs, and ideas of Montenegrin citizens. I believe that this is also our strongest asset if we are speaking about our road and to EU membership.
Thank you very much. That's a good place to start. And now I'm going to turn to North Macedonia. Minister Murtezani, 20 years in the process. It's been a long road, a few bumps. But North Macedonia certainly has gained from this process. It isn't just the problems of process and policies and trying to adapt. What is the deeper meaning that citizens in North Macedonia are taking from the process now? Because I understand it can be frustrating, but it also must be quite exciting for citizens. Oops, sorry.
Well, thank you for the question. Distinguished President Röpke, dear Maida, dear colleagues, of course that it's not easy to be waiting for 20 years, and most of that period as a front runner for the European integration, but of course the case of North Macedonia is the best example of resilience and persistence on achieving our final goal. If the European Union is indeed a living story, it finds, in my opinion, its heartbeat in dialogue, in voice of the civil society, and its hope in the youth or youngest generations. The enlargement thus is not merely about geography or politics, but it's about widening the circle of our shared dreams, ambitions, and of course our collective purpose. In North Macedonia we deeply understand that the role of the civil society in this process and the social dialogue aren't simply supportive mechanisms of the whole process, but they are the very foundations of the whole democracy. That is why we have established structural partnerships with a lot of civil organizations, especially with European Political Institute, for making the process of implementation of the growth plan and the reform agendas more transparent and inclusive, and also a lot of non-governmental and youth organizations are part of the monitoring committee of the implementations of the growth plan, and very recently, on the 3rd of July, we have had the first committee in Skopje. Also recently, our government adopted a dedicated strategy for cooperation and development of the civil society, underpinned by principles of inclusiveness, accountability, and openness. Its vision is absolutely clear: a professional and independent civil sector fully integrated as a partner in policy making, a sector that mirrors society's aspirations and reflects citizens' interests. Yet we recognize that to sustain the necessary dialogue, we must engage the hearts and minds of our youth. For them, Europe is not a distant abstraction, but a daily practice and active laboratory of justice, innovation, solidarity, and sustainability. Ladies and gentlemen, the enlargement is more than extending borders. In my opinion, it is expanding minds, enlarging perspectives, and embracing shared destinies. North Macedonia remains steadfast in nurturing social dialogue, empowering civil society, and investing in youth, not as obligations, of course, but as a core principles of a truly inclusive and democratic Europe. Let us therefore build together a Europe where dialogue shapes policy, civil society strengthens democracy, and youth led us boldly into the future. At the end, I would like to commend the Economic and Social Committee and the President Röpke personally for being the first institution that has accepted enlargement candidate members. This is a truly and very important step on the gradual integration or phasing in of candidate countries, bringing us together in the table with all other members of the European Union. Once more, thank you.
Thank you very much. And with those contributions from our high-level guests, I'd now like to turn it to the President, President Röpke. We're here in this third high-level forum with enlargement candidate members. Very important day. You can feel the excitement in the room. So now taking what our two candidate members, ministers have said, lay out the context for today's meeting, what you want to achieve today with all of these people in the room, and what the real hopes are for the enlargement process, and particularly the inclusion issues that we're going to be talking about today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Terry. And first of all, good morning to everybody. I have to say, it's really a pleasure to see this room so packed of EESC members and candidate members. And you can see they're mixed. They're mixed. So we have the candidate members from all candidate countries, from Western Balkans, from the Eastern neighborhood, from Turkey, among our members. This is already a big progress. And I remember when we started the opening of this high-level forum 1.5 years ago, it was really an inspiring moment. And I think we made a lot of progress in the meantime with the support of the governments, of the civil society, and also of the European Commission. And let me really thank DG Employment also for the support of this important event today. And Antoine, I would like to congratulate you on your appointment as Director for International Affairs. I think you will be very important also for our future work. And also a big thank you to you, Gordana, and Maida, and to Orhan for being with us today. It's really a pleasure for us. What I wanted to say is that actually what we are doing, what we are trying is building successful enlargement, not only enlargement which is only between governments and institutions, but which puts civil society in the driver's seat. This is actually what we are doing, what we are trying with the involvement of enlargement candidate members. And we have done over the last 1.5 years a lot of opinions with the help of candidate members also from Montenegro and North Macedonia on the MFF, on defense, on social issues. And today we will have another important opinion on civil dialogue and social dialogue in candidate countries. I think this is really absolutely important, and it shows that our committee was always an integral part of enlargement process. I would also like to thank personally President von der Leyen, because you know this was a big initiative in our house, which also requires resources. And we recently got the agreement from the Commission to move ahead with this initiative, not only as a pilot, but really on a permanent basis, at least for the next 3 years. We have the full budget for this. I think this is excellent news. It shows also the commitment.
For the forums? Oh,
yes.
Fantastic.
Not
That's
only
good
for the
news
forum,
everybody.
for the whole involvement of enlargement candidate members. So a big thank you to this. Let me just say a few achievements. When it comes to the Western Balkans, the growth plan. I think the growth plan is really a big opportunity, not only as an investment tool, but also to involve civil society as a participatory project. And our idea, our demand is also to set up monitoring committees with civil society, with social partners, to make sure that these investments are really targeted and that the investments are planned together with civil society. And we have good and bad experiences in the EU with the RRF, and I think we can learn from this. And I'm grateful that in some countries we have already a commitment that civil society should be involved in those monitoring committees when it comes to the implementation of the growth plan. I would also like to say that we have front runners. We have front runners like Montenegro, like Albania, I hope also North Macedonia, but we support all candidate countries. And the aim of our initiative is really to support the civil society in these countries. And here I would like to say, even if we want to have some success until 2028, I hope. We also say that we go to all the countries. Recently, we've been to the Euromed summit in Turkey. We have been to Serbia, and we discussed this, of course, also with the civil society, which faces a lot of issues at the moment and problems in these countries. And I have to say the fundamentals for us are absolutely important. They are not negotiable. So we would like to work with civil society and with the governments to make progress on the rule of law, on fundamental rights, public institutions, and so on. And we see a lot of progress, but we see also in some countries big issues. And I have to say I'm worried about some developments because I could see in Turkey how committed is civil society there to our democratic values, and I fully commit to support the colleagues there. And the same is true for Georgia, the same is true for Serbia, for all the countries. I think this is absolutely important. But on the positive note, we say the enlargement must be a merit-based process, but it's also the political will of the European Union. And I think we have to show this political will for countries that make progress, and I really have to commend the progress in Montenegro, in Albania, also North Macedonia, and some other countries as well. And I think we have to show also that we acknowledge this, that we recognize this, and I hope very much that in this mandate, during this mandate, we will see some progress and we will see the first members from candidate countries really joining the European Union. This would be my wish, and I have to say, as civil society, we should work to have a vibrant civil society, strong social dialogue, strong civil dialogue, and this is actually the aim of our initiative. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. So, speaking of aims, you've had many interviews to get your job, so you've got these all teed up in your head, don't you? So, I mean, what are your goals? You're just starting out fresh. What a great way to start your mandate with this room full of invigorated, motivated people. So let's hear from you from the Commission side. I mean, what are your goals? The President just sort of gave an overview of his. We'd love to hear yours.
Well, first of all, thanks a lot for the invitation. I stepped in indeed at the last moment, but I couldn't find a better way to start my new duties as Director for Labour Mobility International Affairs in DG Employment. Oliver, we have met several times in the past, and your dedication for social Europe and for the enlargement process is, of course, extremely key. And let me start by saying that I think that this enlargement, which is now restarting again due to unfortunate events, but still which has now been back into the light, is absolutely detrimental. We built Europe, but it's through the enlargement that we will also do the Europeans. And so it is very important that we have this forum also, and that we can actually have this possibility to start not only discussing, but also interacting and prepare. And you asked, what is the, let's say, the objectives that we have? First of all, we, of course, as you just said, now wanted that this forum becomes permanent. So this is absolutely important. But moreover, you know, the compass, the Bible that we have as social Europe, the social fabric is really the European Pillar of Social Rights, which was proclaimed in 2017, 20 principles. These principles are extremely key, and we have worked a lot during the last mandate to make these principles effective, because principles are nice, but if they are not implemented correctly, they are not effective. And so we have came a lot with different initiatives, and this mandate will continue working on this. There will be an action plan, a revised action plan after the first one that was adopted in Porto in 2021. And there is an important principle in the 20 principles. They're all important, but one is very important, I think, and very much linked to the social market economy, which is the foundation of the EU, and that's the social dialogue principle number 8, which promotes social dialogue, because social partners, civil society is absolutely detrimental in order to prepare the future, to consolidate and to have a real social union that is alive. There has been several attempts already at the EU level to reinforce social dialogue. As you know, DG Employment is very much dedicated to do so, with the help, of course, of all the institutions. We have adopted a package in 2023 to promote social dialogue. There has been a summit also in Val d'Uchaise after the first big summit that Jacques Delors had convened if my memory is good, in 1984. So it was a very important moment, and we have just concluded now also a pact for social dialogue. And I think all of that are clearly things on which the new and future member of the Union, which are now in the seat to become member, will be inspired to. And we just encourage really to look at the best practices of current member states, to use these packages, to use the pillar as really the compass, because this is the way to have a more democratic union, and to have a real social union being reinforced. So that's really the goal. So I encourage to work with this in mind.
Thank you very much. Now we're going to have some questions here, and I think after listening to the four of you, I may turn back to the president first, because we're speaking to the believers in the room. All of us who are here are working toward the same goals, the goals that you have laid out. But as you mentioned, quite honestly, there are concerns. There are developments that push against enlargement, that push against social inclusion in all of the European countries, the candidates as well. So how do we get those who are not the believers? It has to be one of the goals, that you have to bring more people into this process to understand what it brings. So starting with you as leading the direction of this organization, and then maybe what you're doing in your countries, and whether they feel this enlargement fatigue or sort of stratification of society. What can you do? Because it is very worrisome for all of us.
Well, the first point is important. You mentioned it. We see challenges for enlargement, also to meet the requirements for enlargement, but not only in candidate countries.
Exactly.
We have actually the same challenges now within the European Union. The rule of law, freedom of expression. We have democratic challenges in some EU member states. So we cannot say anymore the EU is a community of countries that are fully comply 100% with all democratic values. Yeah. And therefore I think it's not fair to put the finger only on the candidate countries. We face the same challenges, and that's the reason why our committee also decided that our dedicated fundamental rights group undertakes its missions not only to EU member states but also to candidate countries. We've been to Moldova, I think to Serbia, we will go to North Macedonia, and we can see that the challenges are quite similar, and that's the reason why I think democratic, resilient civil society in candidate countries is in our own interest. And if we speak about geopolitics, I think there is still the momentum for enlargement since this tragic war of aggression against Ukraine. I have to say it's really, really a tragedy that it needed this war to open again the window for enlargement. But I just can say, because I haven't mentioned this at the beginning, our solidarity and support for civil society and for free Ukraine is unwavering in this house, unwavering. There are no doubts about this, and we have colleagues here. Yes, please, from Ukraine. You are always welcome here in our house. But yeah, to overcome the fatigue, I think we, especially in candidate countries, we need to see some concrete results. And that's the reason why we say if countries make efforts, then they have to be rewarded. And there is this concept of gradual integration. I think our initiative is one of these measures to open the doors and to show already the advantages of a future membership in the European Union. And the colleagues from the trade unions, from the employers' organizations, from the NGOs, they can see how it is to work alongside our members, to influence decision-making process, to be part of decision-making process. I think this is the right way forward to counter this fatigue. Once again, we cannot allow this. We have to show that Europe will be united against the geopolitical threats that we are facing. And at the same time, we have to show our other continents that Europe sticks to its values. because this we can also see if we compromise on our values, then the credibility of the European Union in candidate countries will also suffer. So we cannot allow this. Let's not make compromises on the fundamentals, but on the other side, let's move forward with candidate countries to future membership.
And Antoine, the Commission is, of course, drove that reopening of the process with bringing in new countries. I mean, can you sustain it? I mean, now's the time, isn't it?
More than ever, I would say. As Oliver just recalled, this has started with tragedy, which is still ongoing. And as you say, the shared values are at the very moment being defended by the Ukrainians on the ground. So we have to support that. And we have to stabilize the continent. And that is absolutely key. And this is why this enlargement process is detrimental. And that this is why we had to start with this. Now, there is no escape. We have to do it. And we have to be also effective. We cannot just pretend that we will do this. We have to convince. And in order to convince, there is a lot to do by the enlargement candidates to do. But we have to help them. This is also why we are here, in order to have the possibility to use these kind of forum, this kind of setting to prepare. But we have to do it, and we have to do it in a time frame which allows this stability to be extreme, and which will provide a very strong signal also to the international community, that Europe is there, that Europe is having these shared values, and that we have to do this. But you said we have also to do the things and the homeworks inside the EU. Huh? There is also there a lot to do. The EU has been created by 6 founders in the beginning. It has been enlarged and enlarged, and we are here, as I say, with the social fabric being also there to consolidate the whole process. But we have to continue convince and work on what our founding fathers have been creating, and we cannot disappoint them. So there is no escape.
But we don't want to disappoint the candidate countries either. I mean, how is this? Is the momentum being felt in countries like yours, which were already on the list, already in the at the gate?
Well, Terry, I will be very, very honest. We are not disappointed. We are very motivated to end this process. But if we are speaking only about the challenges, it's a little bit harder for the candidate countries than the EU member states, because for us there is this also technical part, and my colleague from European Commission and DG Employment knows that very well. We are speaking all the time about the closing benchmarks, and now I'm speaking as the candidate country who is the front runner. Now I'm speaking that we are in the final phase when we are just closing the chapters, because we already opened all of them, and there is a strong political will inside our countries to close all the chapters by the end of 2026, which I see as very ambitious but doable goal. And our main goal, if we are speaking about the candidate countries, there is a lot of competition between us, and this is the good thing if we are speaking about the competition among the candidate countries, is the full membership. I think this is something that all of us are seeking, and all if we are speaking about Albania, if you're speaking about North Macedonia, Montenegro, all candidate countries, we all want full membership. So we are very motivated to be the part, and I think it is good that we are speaking about the enlargement, because European Union is still a place to join, still a place to be, and the candidate countries is showing that with all these technical processes that we are having every day with European Commission and constant communication, which is very, very good, but also at the end of the day, this is also political one. And I think that this, what is happening with Ukraine, was also a wake-up call for the member states, because of the security, because of the stability of the European Union. We are now speaking about enlargement. And this is also the good thing, because European Union, if it's larger, it's going to be more stable. And I think that only with the Western Balkan countries, but on the merit-based approach, it can be much more stable and secure in the future. We need successful stories. Well, we need successful enlargement, and the successful enlargement is with European Commission partnership to prepare at the best all the candidate countries, so we are tomorrow prepared and to enter in the EU as prepared and full countries with strong rule of law, with a strong civil society, with the strong institutions, because of our citizens, but also because of the place we want, where we want to join.
Assets to the union, for sure. North Macedonia is saying, I mean, there has been, along with the ups and downs in the process, there have been ups and downs in citizens' motivation to join, but it seems quite stable now, doesn't it? People want this.
Yes, of course. Our story, I think, is complex but very transformative story. Even after 20 years, which may be very hard to find in any other place in the world, after 20 years of waiting, we have still 70 or 65 to 70% support about the European integration, which means that our citizens are still convinced that there is no other alternative than becoming full member of EU. But of course that there is one serious side effect. Lately, according to the last surveys, the support among young generations start to decrease. Not because they are losing the hope for the European dream, but because for them it's very easy to directly integrate, come to Europe, work, and integrate here. This is one additional, let's say, fact that should make us move forward more fast, intensively, use the momentum, share our argument, because as we know, Western Balkans are even geographically part of Europe, and if I may say, a backyard of the Europe, which is same as important as the front yard, because previously it has been shown that it can be very quickly used for risky geopolitical experiments. That's why I think we are very committed. The support from the citizens is there. We have only, let's say, the responsibility to make it more intensive, to make it more transparent, because the sense of shared priorities make the reforms, I will say, more sustainable. So everything we can do is bring everyone in one place and try to move forward together.
That's a good transition into what we're doing here today, bringing everyone into one place, and we're going to open the floor now to interventions from our audience. I'm going to start with Mia Glamazina. She is the director at the Chamber of Commerce of the Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina. And we see Mia?
I'm here.
There she is. And you have, so this is where I really have to be on the clock. 3.5 minutes, Mia.
Thank you. It is my honor to speak today here about topics that are very important for our country. At the beginning, I would like to thank President Röpke for this model of inclusion and gathering of all of us here as candidate members. When it comes to Bosnia and Herzegovina, we are moving steadily along the path of EU membership. And currently, from the perspective of Bosnia and Herzegovina, European Union is our largest foreign trade partner, with more than 72% of our trade conducted with EU markets. And this is why it is so important to be connected with European Union, especially when it comes to young people, education and employment. What does EU integration offer to us? It is a great opportunity to align our labor market with EU standards through the access of pre-accession funds, cross-border cooperation and partnership with EU institutions. What is very, very important is increase in living conditions, especially part regarding housing. And EU integration here, it brings a stronger legal framework, better mortgage accessibility, incentives for youth housing programs. What we need currently is financial support, of course, and as well guidance regarding policies to make our laws more aligned with EU laws, and of course to make some easier access to funds. That's it from me for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for sticking to time. Our second speaker, Lucy Studnicna, president of the EESC Workers Group. There she is, back there.
Good morning.
Thank you. 2 minutes, please, Lucy.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, dear distinguished guests. As we are moving towards an enlarged European Union, inclusion must be more than a principle. It must be a practice. This must be embedded in the way we shape our future together with the candidate member countries. Weak institutional frameworks, political interference and lack of trust in the political institutions, low trade union density and poor collective bargaining coverage are all part of the challenges we are facing in order to have an effective social dialogue. These are not optional features of democracy. They are essential building blocks for fair wages, decent work and social cohesion. Strong social dialogue, robust trade union involvement and collective bargaining structures are at the heart of our inclusive future together. In the candidate countries, we must support efforts to strengthen trade union rights, promote meaningful negotiations between employers and workers, and ensure that collective bargaining is not only protected, but encouraged. A fair and inclusive labour market is the foundation of a resilient and fair Europe. However, inclusion isn't limited to the workplace. Civil society must be allowed to participate in the shaping of public policies freely and be empowered to do so. This democratic engagement helps build trust in the institutions, especially in the times of transition. The decision we make today will have a long-lasting impact on the youth, our future generation. By investing in their voice, capacity and leadership, we ensure that enlargement is not just a political project, but a generational opportunity for a better Europe. Together, with the candidate countries fully engaged, we can build a stronger, fairer and more inclusive Europe, one that is based on rights, dialogue and solidarity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now our next speaker from ECM Group 2, Mr. Shota Javakadze from the Trade Unions Federation in Georgia.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Could you raise your hand, please?
Distinguished guests.
Doesn't see me. Oh, back there. Okay. Thank you. All right. Sorry about that.
Mr. President, distinguished guests, colleagues, I represent Georgian Trade Union and also union movements, and I want to speak about our relation with the European Economic Social Committee with the unionists. European Social Committee plays significant importance of the role of trade unions addressing challenge posed by supply chain fragmentation and fact cost living, key except overall highlighted by the European Union, European Commission, and play important parts of collective bargaining and sectoral based agreements, facilitating innovation and workplace existing social ideology to the design and new work models, collaborative team structure, working time flexibility. The input reflect quality worker innovation and the sustainable business practice rather than the short-term cost cutting. We must advocate for the worker voice in the workplace based on the information sharing and effective consultation in the line with the national legislation and practice. Trade unions are a circular line with the equitable labor standards and worker rights throughout global supply chain, including addressing issues like forced labor and ensuring living wages. For us, important companies who engage in meaningful consultation with the trade unions and other stakeholders groups in the implementing the reparation measures, particularly in the new context of European Union regulations. EESC, I hope with the trade union as social partners in the building and sustainable and social responsibility in supply chain. And for the future, what I want to end, we have really a lot of challenges. My country is also candidate country, and for us, this regulation on the national legislation, we need, of course, your support, and we're feeling that. And I want to fight the one what I say and fight the reason we are all signed as a progressive no matter and all European projects, economic and other, lead to all persons' happiness, will give you a better future and all like better security. In solidarity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I mean, it's important to have someone from Georgia here with all the challenges that you're facing there. And our third speaker, from ECM Group 3, Ms. Liliana Palihovici of Institutum Virtutus Civilis from Moldova. Sorry about that pronunciation. Thank you.
Honorable audience, dear colleagues, it's a great honor to be here today and to greet you on behalf of EU Moldova Civil Society Platform. And thank you for inviting us at this high-level enlargement forum. And I would like to reaffirm that our shared path to the enlargement is as much about values and people as it is about political and economic reforms. Yes, I will confirm what was mentioned today by Mr. Röpke, that we, civil society organizations, are committed to the European values. In Moldova, the civil society organizations stand for those European values that we cherish: the rule of law, human dignity, social justice, gender equality, and respect for diversity. Across our communities, civil society organizations organize community debates on human rights and inclusion, encourage civic participation. We are partnering with schools and universities to encourage critical thinking and civic responsibility. At the same time, we are monitoring the implementation of the reforms, providing recommendations and supporting the authorities to, at all levels, to better apply the principles of good governance. So we are also supporting the central authorities in preparing for the screening process and moving forward with the negotiations for Moldova's accession to the European Union. Besides this, we are also at the front line of defending the truth and trust. In an era of rapid digital transformation, where manipulation and foreign propaganda spread with unprecedented speed, disinformation has emerged as one of the most serious and persistent threats to democracy. Moldovan civil society organizations have developed tools to fight disinformation, such as fact-checking hubs, educational campaigns, and media literacy programs for young people and older generations. This work is essential for safeguarding our democracy and establishing citizens and enabling citizens to make informed choices. These efforts not only should protect our elections, you know that in September we have parliamentary elections in Moldova, but to protect the institutions, and they also strengthen the social fabric by fostering informed, confident citizens. But Moldova progress alone cannot guarantee resilience of our country and of the countries in our regions. We need strong and more systematic dialogue between civil society in candidate countries and our counterparts in the EU. We are especially grateful to the European Economic and Social Committee for the opportunity offered to the Moldovan CSOs to be part of this important European conversation at the same table with social partners and civil society organizations from the European Union. This cooperation is not only a source of strength, but is also a model of what united Europe should be. And this dialogue is more critical than ever, especially in the context of the upcoming parliamentary elections in Moldova. Moreover, our cooperation and dialogue is the key to strengthen our collective voice for peace in the region. Our unity in supporting Ukraine and opposing aggression is not only an expression of solidarity, but also a pillar of our shared security and European identity. In this context, institutionalizing civil and social dialogue becomes essential, and civil society organizations in Moldova have initiated a national conversation about establishing a structured framework for dialogue among the government, civil society and social partners. We look forward to the moment when this process will be taken forward as a government priority. In closing, I am calling on all of us, governments, EU institutions and civil society organizations, to deepen our cooperation. Let's have and organize more regular forums, share resources, and invest in capacities of civil society organizations and social partners. This is a way how we make our region and the entire Europe strong and more united. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you to all of our speakers. There weren't really a lot of questions posed to you, and in the interest of time, I will keep our intervening remarks here quite short unless anyone has something that you wanted to address. I mean, we heard from some regions that are really in perilous situations, Georgia, Moldova, under a lot of pressure, particularly from disinformation, but maybe we'll let the other speakers, the next round of speakers, come in, and then we can have a final round and address some of these issues that were brought up here: workers' rights, trust in institutions, and counter disinformation. That's really important. So we're going to move on to the second round of interventions from ECM Group 3. Mr. Gledis Cipali, the Executive Director of the European Movement in Albania. There.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to address this plenary session. I will join the other speakers in thanking the committee and President Röpke regarding the support of and inclusion through this instrument of enlargement candidate members given to particularly to the civil society and to Albania. I think this is indeed a good example to follow for the other EU institutions to include the candidate countries, as they are very willing to join these structures, as it is seen by the work done in the working groups here, to be active contributors to the issues and discussions of the problems and how to address them EU-wide. Also, I would like to thank, as we in Albania now, we have established the joint consultative committee with the committee and in April this year. And we look forward to increase the debate and institutionalize the debate, the dialogue in EU level, but also within the country, within all the partners. As regards the civic sector, it's not easy to be part of it, especially in the last years. In the Western Balkans, but also in the other Eastern countries. We know that a lot of organizations are suffering from pressure, external or internal one, a polarized political pressure towards them, and especially in the last years, with a lot of support going out from bilateral programs or from the US, it has even increased this weakness of the sector. Although we know that there are very good organizations and movements, resilient ones, but still there is a lot of room to be played by the institutions, and I think the committee is an example of taking this role and this support. When it comes to the enlargement process, it's also very crucial, as we know that the process is speeding up in some countries, like Albania is also opening all the chapters, going towards opening all the chapters in the negotiations, and it has also an ambitious target to reach in 2027 to finish the negotiations. And we know it's a crucial time for the non-government actors to be part of this discussion, because this process needs not only the speed, but it also needs the quality of the reforms and the legislation which is aligned with EU, and looking also to the experiences of member states who have gone through this enlargement process. We know that it's crucial this time of the negotiation to have the dialogue institutionalized, the actors well involved in the decision-making and policy-making process, and we very welcome the support which is given to us, and we also look forward to other institutions to increase the pressure towards the government and our institutions, and to make it a successful process and meaningful and qualitative for all the target groups, for all the society in our countries. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker from EESC Member Group 2, Andrej Zorko, President of the EESC Western Balkans Follow-up Committee.
I'm here.
Andrej Zorko? It's hard to see you out here. Okay, thank you. Oh, way back there.
Ja, malce sem manjši, tako da se me težko opazi. V državah kandidatkah za članstvo Evropske unije...
Sorry, could you just give us a second to take our devices?
V državah kandidatkah za članstvo v Evropski uniji so mladi pogosto potisnjeni na rob odločanja. Socialni dialog sicer formalno obstaja, vendar se njihovega glasu ne sliši. Civilna družba obstaja, deluje, vendar se mlade redko povabi za mizo. Prepričan sem, da prihodnost teh držav ne bo pisana brez njihovega sodelovanja. Če želimo širitev graditi na zaupanju in demokratičnih vrednotah, mladi ne smejo biti zgolj opazovalci, ampak morajo biti sogovorniki, kreatorji. Če dam konkreten primer, v Črni Gori je leta 2024 več kot 70% mladih izrazilo dvom v to, da imajo kakršenkoli vpliv na oblikovanje javnih politik. Hkrati pa jih je več kot polovica izrazila pripravljenost sodelovanja, če bi jih le kdo vprašal in če bi jih kdo povabil. Tako Evropska unija ima priložnost podpreti mladinske organizacije v regiji, ima priložnost omogočiti jim vstop v strukture socialnega dialoga, ima omogočiti možnost ustvariti mehanizme, kjer mladi ne sodelujejo zgolj kot prostovoljci, temveč kot sogovorniki. Programi kot so Erasmus+, Youth Dialogue so dokaz, da lahko participacije mladih dobijo konkretne oblike, vendar ti programi morajo biti dostopni tudi mladim iz držav kandidatkam. Tako sem prepričan, da sindikati, delodajalci in civilna družba vsi potrebujemo aktivno udeležbo mladih. Mladi potrebujejo ne samo občutek, da so slišani, ampak morajo biti aktivni deležniki, kreatorji naše prihodnosti. In na tem področju lahko Evropska konfederacija sindikatov in Business Europe naredita za svojim vplivom, aktivnejšim delovanjem velik korak naprej. Evropa ne sme rasti zgolj in na podlagi strategij načrtov, ampak mora biti širitvena politika vključujoča skupaj z mladimi. V nasprotnem primeru je to zgolj prazna lupina. Hvala.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Now I will call on ECM Group 2, Bojana Bijelević-Bosanic, Head of the International Department of the Confederation of Autonomous Trade Unions of Serbia. 2 minutes.
We, the trade unions, employers and civil society organizations from Serbia and from candidate countries appreciate the support of the EU civil society and the European Economic and Social Committee, which has included us in many aspects of its work and activities, as you may see. We, in the trade unions, also received the same level of significant support from the European Trade Union Confederation. The fight for democracy, stability and prosperity is a daily task for us all, whether we are at the heart or center of the European Union or on its periphery. According to some, the largest student protests in Europe since 1968 are taking place in Serbia. They last for 8.5 months as a reaction to a tragic loss of 16 lives caused by corruption. The protests have an impact on social dialogue and cause political and even economic instability. On the positive side, students are raising the issue of amending the labor and strike laws in favor of workers. On the negative side, the blockades of institutions of educational institutions has led to professors and teachers going months without receiving salaries, despite having signed a better collective agreement. Nevertheless, this struggle is more inclusive than many before, as it has connected the north and south of the country, cities and villages, the young and the elderly, workers and students. Spending weeks on the streets is costly and exhausting, emotionally, financially, physically, but accepting the status quo distances us from democracy, freedom, and the prospect of a better life, which is why the citizens of Serbia entered the European Union on their own, by emigrating. Institutions, social partners, and entire societies must listen to their youth. They must support them and allow them to be involved and integrated into all aspects of decision-making. The alternative is the division and fragmentation of the societies and their resulting instability. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And our final speaker from ECM Group 1, Gennady Chuzikov, President of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Ukraine. He will be our last speaker, and then just to warn my panel, we're running a little bit over time. We started a little bit late. I will give you each a minute to wrap up your thoughts from all of our other speakers. Mr. Chuzikov.
I'm here. Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much, first of all, for kind words of support of Ukraine. It is a really difficult time, but anyway, we needed to speak about the future, about today, what we can do together on the very important way to the EU destination. For us, for Ukraine, EU enlargement is not abstract concept. It is path of transformation, political, social, and especially economic. We are living in the different situation, full-scale invasion. But at the same time, I would like to share with you some figures. More than 90% of Ukrainian business survive, continue to work. We have a growth of GDP. More than 85% of Ukrainian population dream about their integration to the European Union. For us, it's like a dream, like hope. And second one, more than 50% of Ukrainian business said what we are ready to work in the European market. 35% said what we are on the way. That's why we understand the role of the European Union, rules, and everything what's needed, and we are doing in this direction very strong. I would like to say again what we see very strong position of President Röpke and who supported Ukraine during this difficult period of time together with European Economical Social Committee. We would like to say thank you to the employees group with the head of Mr. Stefano Malia, who also pay big attention. It's very important. This is very special in this period of time. For us, for Ukraine, it's very important to dialogue what we have on the top level between Euro Commission and the Ukrainian to continue. We're doing everything what's needed on the path of Europe. And we are asking we don't need any artificial barriers on the way to the starting negotiation in the cluster 1. Thank you very much again, but I would like to say this, our enlargement candidate member initiative is very good. We see from our side how it's working. For example, there are a lot of questions around the agriculture sector of Ukraine, etc. But it's better to speak than to, and we see how on the platform European Economical Social Committee, we discuss very tangible topic about the agriculture, how we make this balance of interest of Europe and Ukraine in this period of time. And we on the right way. Thank you very much for this initiative and many others. Due to our participation, we see how it's important to pay big attention of the business. First of all, the country who on the way in the European Union. We see how the role of the first important, the main roles of the small and medium-sized business, how to assist this part of the business. But because this business connected all countries, connected the business, and this is the future. That's why the support of the small and medium-sized business using the experience of European Union is critically important. Second one, we do it to the, sorry, I'm finished.
Yeah, okay, thank you, sir.
I would like to say that the role of the social sector is incredibly important, and the future of us who will go to the European, this is youth, and I very much appreciate it what we pay big attention. But I have a very small question to the ministers, if I can. You did it, I heard very attentively, you did it very good job on the way to the European Union. But what are your main lessons? How to make the role of the businesses more important on the way to the European Union? This is my simple question. What you can say to us? Thank you very much, and thank you again for strong support of Ukraine. For us, it's very important. Together, we are strong. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, our time for the panel is already up, so we're going to wrap it up fairly quickly because we have a press conference to come where you all are invited and also may be able to ask questions. So I'm going to start on Antoine. 1 minute to wrap up what you've heard here. Again, on your first day, it's a lot to take in, but an inspiring way to start. Just very quickly, if you
can. Well, the first thing I will retain is this wind of positivity, of enthusiasm towards the EU. This is absolutely key. And I think the West should learn also from that, because we lost a little bit that enthusiasm. So it is fantastic to see that Eastern countries, South countries that wants to join are extremely positive towards the EU project. So this is the first thing. Second thing, what I learn is, what I retain from this is talk to your young people. Talk to the youth. It's been there several times. It's absolutely important. It's a generation that will come. So it's absolutely key to do that. And again, dialogue, social dialogue towards and between us is key to create the trust. It's not a coincidence that I'm in charge of international affairs now, but also of mobility of workers. And mobility of workers inside the EU, but also towards and with the enlargement candidate is absolutely key also to construct and to build that very important trust.
Thank you. Minister Murtezani, final thoughts.
Very briefly, to wrap up and to answer the question. First, European integration is not only formally meeting the criteria or ticking the boxes. If we don't make broadly acceptable, fully implemented and tangible the results for our citizens, it's becoming harder and harder to raise the support. This is my first message. The second one is, of course, that what I previously said, and it's one of the lessons that we have learned in our integration, is that the reforms definitely become more sustainable if you have a sense of shared purpose. It means if you include all of stakeholders, NGOs, different platforms and groups, it gains additional importance and speed the implementation of reforms, and absolutely the communication strategy, which is equally important for candidate countries and also for EU members. We have to both of us better inform our public opinion, better inform our citizens, first about the benefits of enlargement for the EU members and, of course, for candidate countries. There is a lot going on, a lot of mechanisms, instruments are becoming also available for candidate countries. We achieved to become member of SEPA. Now the roaming for Europe is also opening for Western Balkan countries, so we have to pay a lot of attention to the communication side. Thank you.
Thank you. And Minister?
Well, thank you very much, but finally allow me to reaffirm that Montenegro is approaching the EU integration process with seriousness, maturity and determination. We heard a lot of positive thoughts today, and we really firmly believe that civil society, social dialogue and youth engagement are essential pillars of resilient and democratic Europe. What are the lessons that we have learned? I think that there are still a lot of lessons that we are going to learn through the process. I'm sure that growth plan is one of the instruments that will help us also to engage our businesses in the candidate countries and also to be more connected with the member states as well. And at the very end, I think that we have a lot of things that we will take from this panel today and and also from all these comments that we heard. So once again, thank you very much. I really enjoyed the panel. Thank you.
Thank you. And President Röpke, your final thoughts here.
Well, what I can see, we like to call ourselves the powerhouse of civil society, but I think today it's even more powerful to have all these voices from candidate countries. This is really encouraging. I took note that there are some challenges, also structural challenges, and I think if it comes to institutions, it is important that we have strong institutions, also for dialogue. We need vibrant civil society, strong social partners, but they need also an institutional approach. I'm very much delighted that some countries, some governments came to Brussels to study our committee because they want to set up new structures or to change structures, so we are ready to assist them. And I think just afterwards we will have an opinion on civil and social dialogue. I think some of the ideas will be presented there. We have the joint consultative committees. I think we really use them. They are extremely important for the involvement of civil society, but to work together with the governments. This is crucial. And the last point, almost the last point, I've heard the business needs, I've heard the trade unions, and I think we really have to give the standards that we have now in the EU countries, for example, the European Pillar of Social Rights. We have to double our efforts to do this already also in candidate countries when it comes to stronger social dialogue, when it comes to stronger collective bargaining, for example, and of course to strengthen the competitiveness in these countries, because youth is the future, and I think it's the most dangerous phenomena that youth is leaving the countries. We have to give them a strong perspective. We just have heard yesterday the MFF is very ambitious, but I really call upon everybody not to forget the candidate countries. I think all the investments in candidate countries in the next years will be investments in our future and our stability. In this sense, let's work together to achieve this goal and to have very soon, hopefully, the first candidate countries as members in the EU. Thank you.
Very much. High ambitions, definitely. Well, I'm sorry that we have to hurry because we could definitely stay here all day, but this is just the start of your conversation today. I need to get these guys off to the press conference. Thank you very much. I would have liked to hear from everybody in the room, I think, as you would have here on the panel, but thank you for your energy and your positivity, and go out and continue your very important work. So thank you very much for being with us this morning.